Hello YouTube and welcome back! Today we're going to delve into attractive characters. And to answer the question that's in the title itself, it is not wrong to want attractive characters. I want attractive characters. Heck, I tried to make my VTuber as attractive as possible to me, not to you guys. And trust me, I actually had to have a conversation about the waistline, and I was like, no, I want my waist to be more like curvy here with my modeler. I was like, it's kind of like making a character in itself. So yeah, anyway, if you manage to not skip the intro for the video, the word of the day is globe. Yeah. Now let's get into the actual video. Let's make myself bigger.
All of this is why I just do not understand why some developers keep getting it wrong. It really feels so simple. Yes, give us great gameplay, fun mechanics, a interesting and meaningful story, but then layer attractive, pretty characters on top of that to create hype around the game, grab our interest, and hold our attention. All of this just makes for a much more enjoyable experience. So this video is kind of related to my very first video about women in games, but before we get into it, we have to acknowledge everybody that is subscribed to the channel. Wow, honestly, I don't really even know what to say. This has been such a overwhelming week in the best way, but thank you. Thank you to every single one of you for all of the comments and messages and just all of the support. Now, let's talk about hot characters. I've always found it very interesting when I see some gamers say, I don't care what my character looks like, I just want a good game. And while
you don't care, but others do. I can understand the perspective of like people being like, well, I don't care, and like people are welcome to do whatever game they want, and at the end of the day, it is true. But there is a greater chance of like reaching the audience that you want by like layering a lot of different things in video games. That being said, I can see like they definitely deserve the love that they're getting. She's very charismatic and very charming. I really like her as a person so far from the one video that we've seen, and like her take on things.
Oh, sure. I believe some people probably do feel that way. When you actually look around at what's successful and what's not, what resonates and what doesn't, the idea that visuals don't matter, it doesn't really hold up. The second you start digging into this stuff, it's
oh yeah, like that note, but like even looking at my VTuber model, right? Holy shit, the amount of people that are against the fact that I'm using a pixel model right now, and they're like, Paws, where's the booba? Or Paws, I want to see like the high definition version of your character, right? Definitely, it's a huge impact in the difference that it makes to have the quote-unquote attractiveness factor, or to have like the visuals. Like you can tell, I can tell, my stats are down, my viewership is down for that. And it's not just like, oh, it's just the month. I literally have comments of people telling me that they care about that. So it is pretty obvious that aesthetics matter a lot. And while yes, the pixel model is adorable, and yes, while it is amazing, I just want to like take the moment and segue into it. I will be having a proper HD variant of this design. It's my 3D model. It's coming soonish, okay? I will keep the pixel for pixel streams, like, you know, like actual pixel games. That's the plan. That was always the plan. But I feel like I had to at least explain it in a video before I go crazy. I've been sitting on this design for almost 2 years, and I've had a lot of problems with artists and riggers and getting things started. So like the HD variant of my model, as some of you put it, it was delayed, not due to my choosing, and it's still delayed, and I have no idea when I'm gonna get it, if I'm gonna get it, and when that's happening. So this was the compromise because I really wanted this design. So yeah. I will have a 3D model though, because I am excited to show you the 3D model, and also I think it will make reacts a lot more fun when I can just wave my hands around and flip the middle finger at people. I mean, wave my hands around. Thought, who would show the middle finger to someone? Woof, not me. Anyway, now that I've said my piece, I'm sorry for those that just clicked about wanting to listen to the video only.
Pretty clear. Visuals play a huge role in whether something
Mhm.
hits or flops. And if they didn't, cosmetics probably wouldn't be one of the most profitable parts of the entire gaming industry. The truth is, I think most of us do care, even if it's subconsciously. And this isn't just a gaming thing, but for whatever reason,
God, that's hot. Look at them. Look at them. I'm not even an abs, well, a stomach type person, but it's like, Okay, cringe moment aside. Anyone else played as as a belf?
but for whatever
Also yen. Like, come on. How can we not?
reason, the gaming industry seems
As much as Sylvana's a bitch, she's a very hot bitch.
especially confused about it. Because books, anime, movies, shows, we
Mhm.
care about how the characters look. We
Yeah.
always have. Now, just to
Yep.
be clear, an attractive character cannot save bad writing or bad gameplay. A great design won't make a boring game fun, and eye candy is totally pointless if there's zero substance to back it up. And on the opposite side, it's not like a game is necessarily doomed if the characters are uninspired or unattractive. But let's be honest, we have been done dirty quite a few times at this point. But when it does work, when you combine great writing, a solid gameplay, and a compelling visual design,
You get clear obscure Expedition 33, right?
that's really when the secret sauce hits. And that's when a character truly becomes iconic.
Like, it's not even just that. It's also like every element matters. I've noticed, like, I'm not a huge audiophile. I think that's the word. But good music freaking slaps on top of like having immersive cinematics and moments, or like heartfelt moments, and things that just stay with you, like playing at the strings of your heart, right?
So, how important is beauty really? What can it actually be used for in storytelling, and why does it matter at all? Yes, beauty is completely subjective, but let's try and figure it out together. When it comes to storytelling, beauty isn't just about looking good, it's about what that beauty communicates. It's a kind of visual shorthand for personality, purpose, or the emotional tone of a character. Take Cortana from Halo. She's sleek, luminous, and kind of untouchable. Her ethereal design isn't random, it reinforces her role as an AI. She's attractive, mysterious, highly advanced,
Ghostly.
but also just slightly out of reach. Or Aerith from Final Fantasy. She's beautiful in this really soft, gentle way. Her design radiates hope and warmth, and you feel that when she's on screen.
Also kind of gives you everyday vibes, you know, like I could be her, or like I look like her.
There's something very delicate and endearing about her that sticks with you. Then there's Eve from Stellar Blade, and yeah, people definitely noticed her design.
Dude, did you know that they actually modeled her areolas? I saw that on Twitter. Crazy, but also cool.
Pretty much immediately. She's bold, striking, and yes, super hot. But what's cool is that once the game launched, the gameplay actually backed it up. And okay, can we talk about Verso from Clair Obscur for a second? Because he is undeniably very handsome. The white hair, the posture, the somber expression, he's restrained, haunted, and you immediately feel like there's something deeper going on. These characters aren't designed to
Me going like la 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 la. I'm not hearing anything. I'm blocking that out of my mind because I don't want spoilers. That was literally my mind while that was going on.
just be pretty. They're designed with intention. Their looks are part of their emotional blueprint, and the fact that they're attractive is what actually initially draws you in. Their looks tell you how to feel before a single line of dialogue. As
Yeah, I mean, when you see a freaking scar on someone, you kind of think badass or experience, or if they've been through a lot. When you see like man with like white hair, you either think that he got stressed the fuck out, or old and experienced again. And well, that can you know, be like, ooh, I gotta listen to that.
Humans, we are biologically wired to respond to beauty, and that's not a bad thing. So, when a
Mm-hmm.
character's design feels off or it doesn't match the story we're being told, that disconnect can make it way harder to
Jarring.
emotionally connect.
Yep.
And this kind of visual storytelling has been around for ages. This is nothing new, and it's not just in games, it's everywhere, especially in film. Taking a look at Lord of the Rings, think about Aragorn. Rugged,
Oh god. Don't get me started. You know when you read a book and then suddenly outside of the book, the character does not look anything like it when they do the movie cast. I'm not looking forward to the Harry Potter Snape, the new Snape. Because in my mind, Snape is cemented. It's like, the jarring is going to be so brutal.
attractive, weathered, and quietly noble. His entire look reflects the burden that he carries, and you can see the weight of his past just by looking at him. Then there's Eowyn and Arwen, two beautiful women with totally different vibes. One is a warrior with conviction, the other is a very soft, ethereal queen. And their looks reflect who they are at their core. And that's what good design does. It supports the story. All right, switching tones completely here, but I have to talk about my love for the Mummy series very quickly. Because Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz weren't just very fun, flirty, iconic characters. They were extremely captivating. Their chemistry was off the charts, and they were both ridiculously attractive, okay? But their beauty didn't just decorate the film, it amplified it. The adventure they were on, the romance, the danger. I actually love this series so much.
Imagine you just cast you just cast the most unattractive people for it instead.
I used to work at the Mummy roller coaster at Universal, and I may or may not have hearing loss in my one ear, thanks to Brendan Fraser screaming for his coffee at the end of the ride. Just a little bit of NPC lore for you. So if we know that beauty helps tell the story, what about when it's entirely in the player's hands? Let's talk about character customization and the literal billions being spent on it. Video game
That's happening now. Wait, they're redoing the Mummy?
cosmetics are a multi-billion-dollar industry. In fact, media research projects that purely
Please
cosmetic
no.
in-game purchases will reach $100 billion a year by 2028.
Sheesh.
$100 billion a year.
No. Oh, thank God. I mean, yes, they are casting like really dubious choices for a lot of things. Hopefully they end up stopping with that. Cough, cough, Snow White.
Year for making your character look nice. Listen, alright, I am not ashamed that I myself played a part in this pretty recently. I hadn't touched Fortnite in like 7 or 8 years, but I randomly started playing duos again over the last few months, and pretty much right after I did, I saw none other than Spike Spiegel and Faye Valentine.
I don't know, they had that collab. What? That's crazy. They do have so many ads in Fortnite, man. Cowboy Bebop, absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen it, you should see it.
In the shop. Yeah, I was buying up those V-Bucks.
I still wouldn't buy them. I still wouldn't buy that. I don't know, man. I can't. I grew up in a generation where you had cheat codes for free and you didn't need to spend money for it. And unlocking skins and having them on money, I'm like, nah. I don't think they'll ever get me with that.
Pretty much immediately. It was just the idea of getting to play as some of the characters I love so much in a game that I've unironically been having a ton of fun with. It was almost like I had no choice here. Quick side note. Faye Valentine definitely goes on our list of amazing female characters, for sure. And I must confess, I also purchased the Sabrina Carpenter skin. Her dress was just so pretty. Now on the flip side,
Consumer right there, man. Target audience for why skins work.
the opposite is true too. When character design fails to resonate, players clock it immediately. This is very old news at this point, but I always think about Concord. This was really the first time, at least for me, that I had seen so much public backlash.
I mean, I haven't seen these before, but I'm like, what the fuck is this? What is this aesthetic? Are you trying to go for like mad scientist just failed an experiment and went to an alien conference vibe? That's the vibe it gives me. I'm just like, huh?
About character design. And for Concord,
Sheesh.
yeah, it kind of seems like this was one of the biggest reasons that it flopped. People did not like the characters. They felt awkward, uninspired, off-putting, forced.
They
In
look
a market full of
weird.
games where the character designs are intended to be inherently beautiful, bold, attractive, Concord's cast kind of looked like they were built by a committee just to check boxes. And then there's Starfield. This game was supposed to be massive, story-rich, world-expanding, but on top of just so-so gameplay, the one thing I kept seeing over and
The
over again was
eyes.
how unappealing, bland-looking, and emotionally empty the NPCs felt. They didn't draw you in or match the tone of the world. For the
No, if anything, they were very off-putting. They were very like, eh. I tried. I gave Starfield like 30 hours and I couldn't. It was just like,
most part, they were just generic copy paste that you didn't really want to engage with. Another game that comes to mind that I've mentioned before is Star Wars Outlaws. Unfortunately, both good gameplay and good character design were a miss here. And there were even moments where Kay Vess didn't look quite human, which is very wild because her actress is so stunning. The blueprint was right there, but for some reason, I guess they
what the heck? How do you go from this to this? Why? How?
The blueprint was right
Jesus.
there, but for some reason, I guess they couldn't make a character design that did her justice. And the disconnect across all of these examples is important to note because it's not just about realism,
It's so wild to me that you're like, I can't do that. Like, I literally, my 3D modeler, I gave him a PNG of my design. I gave him a PNG and he made a 3D model that's like the same. Like, you can't tell them apart. They look the fucking same. He was able to cook that and do that. And you're telling me a studio that has way more budget and more people than my one modeler can't replicate something. Like, huh? Like, no fucking way, man. Like, at that point, it's definitely on purpose and laziness.
it's about relatability. Games are probably the biggest storytelling medium, and a character's design should invite you into the story. People want to feel something when they look at a character. Excitement, admiration, curiosity.
Oh, and before, like, people in the comments are like, but Paws, it's out of the budget. Bro, my design was like, what, $3,000 for the 3D model from scratch, for someone to make it from scratch for me. I'm pretty sure they can afford $3,000 for that. Just saying.
And when what you're looking at feels flat, awkward, or overly ordinary, like someone you just pass by on the street, it breaks the fantasy. And that desire for your character to look attractive and appealing, it starts even before the actual game begins. Take Baldur's Gate 3, for example. According to Larian, players collectively spent over 8,000 years just in the character creator. That's like 16% of the game's total playtime. Before even starting the game. And yes,
Oh my god, that looks so cute! I mean, people will look at me and be like, what the fuck? But she looks so hot. She looks so hot, cha. Yeah, it's cute. It's very cute. Just wash her up. Clean the blood. Don't tell me it doesn't look cute.
that. Because to me, character aesthetics are just part of the immersion. They're part of what makes an incredible game. They help me feel more emotionally anchored in the world and make for a way more enjoyable experience. And this goes for both male and female characters alike. Even in Red Dead Redemption 2, I loved getting to change Arthur's hair, his beard, and outfits, and I'm just so glad we got to do that because I really felt like I could reflect where he was at mentally and emotionally. That small touch made him feel a lot more real. Now, switching gears for a quick moment, bear with me here, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and out myself for a second. I love a good romantasy book. Yes, I know, but before you roll your eyes and you click off the video, please just hear me out. This genre includes some of the best-selling books on the market.
Oh, I like, well, at the risk of, falling into a stereotype, well, yeah. Uh, Yeah, most of us do.
You maybe have heard of series like Throne of Glass or Akatar, and the characters in these stories
I totally have not read it. I don't know anything about it, and I have not simped or thought about it or fantasized about it. Not at all. No. Nope, 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 nope. Not at all.
are described with this enchanted, ethereal kind of beauty. It's dramatic, it's swoony, it's meant to sweep you off your feet, and that's part of the fantasy. It's part of the immersion. There's even one fan favorite image of a certain Akatar character that went viral, and for many fans, that's basically canon now. Godspeed to whatever casting director has to find that guy in the real world. They will come for you. The exact same thing happens in anime and animation, sometimes even more intensely. These characters are designed.
I mean, have you seen Gojo's eyes? To be fair, I feel like Gojo's hotness, I personally don't really get it, but I assume it comes from like just his power. Also the eyes. The eyes are very pretty. Though I don't get why people melt down over him so hard. Her though, freaking stunning design. Absolutely stunning design.
Designed from the ground up to be visually appealing. Their looks are exaggerated, idealized.
Oh, albedo. Nice.
Sometimes maybe a little too much, but we love them for it. And there's a reason that certain characters dominate cosplay every con season, or why fans fight over who's best girl or best boy with genuine passion. Even in the VTuber space, visual design is everything. And there's a reason VTubers put so much effort into their appearance, and people can completely fall in love with them before they ever even hear their voice. The look, the aesthetic, the vibe, it all is meant to draw people in. The design is the hook. All of this is so important because when a character looks the way they're supposed to feel, that's when the magic happens. That's when people get protective. That's when a fandom really forms. Piggybacking off of all of that, I'd like to touch on something very quickly that gets brought up a lot in conversations like this. And that's the idea that it's just gamers that are the ones who care way too much about a character's appearance. That it's just gamers who have this problem. Like the second someone doesn't like a design, it's suddenly gamers are just toxic and you just need to get over it. But based on everything that I've said thus far, honestly, I do not think that's fair, because this is a thing across every genre, every medium. Everybody wants well-designed, fun, good-looking, beautiful, charismatic characters. It's how we're wired, and it's why certain characters instantly spark hype online or can—
like, for example, even designs for EPs, right? Like, you have even CDs and music that people take so much time focusing on the design. And book covers, like, it's so important, good design and like having good visuals to attract and bring people. Sure, the content matters, but like if you're not gonna touch the content without, because you're rejecting the outside, then you're never gonna actually get to see what's happening. Hence why it's important to have a good cover. Hence why it's important to be presentable. In real life, in fucking books, in movies, in everything, it's important.
Can aid in tanking a release before it's even out of the oven. Yes, I'm looking at you, Intergalactic. Now, again, I am not saying every character in a game needs to look like a supermodel, but what I am so tired of seeing is characters intentionally designed to be less appealing. When the people making the decisions nerf a character's looks in a way that has nothing to do with their actual background or story, they just do it just because, it really makes no sense. It creates unnecessary dissonance, and it pulls people out of the fantasy instead of drawing them in. My last note on this here is just think about celebrities. Think about how people respond to celebrities, whether they're singers or actors. How they look, their appearance is always part of the conversation. And so many times you could easily say it even contributes to their success. Even when it technically has nothing to do with what they're known for, it somehow still does. Because that's just how humans respond to other humans. We're made that way. We notice.
Like, you actually look up to generally things that are prettier than you or out of reach or an ideal or something that you're not quite there yet on something, right? Like, you look at someone and be like, man, she has such pretty skin, right? Mostly because you feel like your skin is not good enough, or you would like your skin to be more like that, or like she has some really pretty hair. Same reasoning. It's human nature.
Yes, we connect, we feel, and what we see at the first glance is the very first step of that. So, of course, while beauty is not everything, and it's certainly not a substitute for good writing, gameplay, or mechanics, it's
It's a
so
segue to
often
it.
our very first impression, and usually it's the first thing that really captures our attention.
Intergalactic breaks everything she said. She's giving it as an example of something that's being judged that is against what she's saying. She's not saying Intergalactic is good. She's using it as the example of like what people are against right now. Also, Contraband Bandit in the future, sorry to tell you, but like people like bad guys. If it was a dude, it would resonate a lot more. Like there's an entire freaking book on that. The Saga of the Seven Sons. Fucking there's smugglers there that are fucking hot. Aquatar has a smuggling aspect to it in a way. Like trust me, bad is hot, especially for women. Oh.
Lets us know what a character is about and makes us care. And this is something that has always mattered and will always matter, regardless of the medium being used to tell the story. And all of this is why I just do not understand why some developers keep getting it wrong. It really feels so simple. Yes, give us great gameplay, fun mechanics, a interesting and meaningful story, but then layer attractive, pretty characters on top of that to create hype around the game, grab our interest, and hold our attention. All of this just makes for a much more enjoyable experience. For developers who are passionate about the projects that they're making, and they're doing it for the right reasons, odds are this is probably already all included. So it really is a guaranteed formula for success. And they're shooting themselves in the foot if the very first thing that we see is a bland, boring, or just unappealing protagonist or cast of characters. Sorry for the outfit jump scare. This is editor NPC here, and I was watching this back through and wanted to make sure I just clarified this point really well at the end. All right, I'll see myself out. Okay, thank you.
It's like, oh hi guys, I'm just editing this and I feel like I need to clarify. I've been in her shoes with that.
So much to those who made it to the end of this video. I'm genuinely so glad that you were here. Like I said at the start, this past week has been a bit of a whirlwind. I just want to say I appreciate everyone and your support so much. I still really can't wrap my head around everything that's happening, but I'm just gonna be here doing my thing like I was already planning to do. So thank you again for being a part of this YouTube journey with me.
Yeah, honestly, her video, as I said, I really like her as a creator so far. 2 videos in, and I dig her vibe. That being said, she makes a very good point, especially with celebrities and why people pick them as role models. I said it before. My role model is my dad, so like I don't look at celebrities and I'm not awed by them because like glamour and everything, right? Like I don't know. I never grew up with like, oh, shiny eyes, like, oh, over someone like that. But I understand like people look up to celebrities and like expect them to look good, right? Like you have expectations of people and you kind of imagine a certain thing. Like when you think rich people, right, you imagine them in a certain way. Most will imagine, I don't know, suits or expensive dresses and balls or banquets or whatever, you know? And it's kind of the same when it comes to like fantasy. You imagine, when it comes to fantasy, you imagine beautiful stuff. You don't imagine someone that's ordinary like you. And even then, if it's someone ordinary like you don't imagine them being lazy, and fat and just kind of like sitting there in their chair doing nothing. Usually you'll think of them as athletic, ready to change the world. Like even then you think of them as a better version of yourself that's actually, you know, going out for that jog every morning or taking care of their calories and their room is probably clean. It's always, you know, imagining something, a better version of what you could be in like whatever aspect. And I feel like that is what makes characters kind of like stand out. because you want to aspire to be more like them. Hence why you have people cosplaying, right? They aspire to that. Probably clean as well. I mean, anyway, YouTube, if you manage to get so far, what do you think? Do you think it's good to have attractive characters? Do you think bland characters are better? What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe because it helps the channel and it means a lot. And I appreciate you. Until next time, bye.